From Storm Tracker 6, this is Forecast First, sponsored by Auto Owners Insurance. Simple human sense.
Good morning, Mid-Michigan are waking up with temperatures into the 20s this morning. We're seeing 22 degrees in Lansing and Mason. Jackson and Hillsdale, we're seeing 21 degrees in both Hillsdale and Charlotte. Satellite and radar is showing quiet weather, although there is some snow in the forecast, and there are some snow showers to the north of us into St. John's and even Ionia possibly as well. We're seeing those snow showers continuing into this morning or into this afternoon, and we'll continue to see the snow showers into this evening, with temperatures staying chilly into the upper 20s. All the full details coming up in just a little bit. 6 News This Morning starts right now.
WLNS is here for you with 6 News This Morning.
Good morning, Mid-Michigan. Thank you for waking up with us. It's Saturday, February 8th. I'm Karina Prieto, and we're here for you now with this morning's top stories. We start this morning with some breaking news coming out of Washington. Thousands of workers at the U.S. Agency for International Development are still on the payroll this morning after a federal judge blocked the Trump administration's efforts to fire them this week. The overnight ruling represents the first big setback in Trump's efforts to dismantle the agency, responsible for around $50 billion worth of charitable work in other countries. Since becoming the target of the administration, the agency has seen its funding cut and its workers fired by the masses. But now, a federal judge says the president has gone too far, and the ruling means that nobody is getting fired for now. The judge also blocked an order that would have made these workers move back into the United States within 30 days. The judge said it would have been unwarranted and expensive for thousands of government employees to move their families that quickly. The new administration was also blocked from allowing its new Department of Government Efficiency from accessing secure Treasury Department records. The judge in this case sided with critics, arguing that handing this data over to Elon Musk would present a huge breach in security and a conflict of interest. Access to the Treasury Department's most secure systems would have allowed Musk and his department to cut off funding for important payments for things like healthcare and childcare. It would have also given the world's richest man access to people's Social Security info, medical data, and benefits plans. Supporters of the new department say gaining access to this data is the only way Musk and his team can find waste in government spending, and a hearing set for next week should give both sides time to argue their case. Well, earlier this week, confusion over the new administration's policies spread from Washington to Wall Street. Fears over tariffs caused markets to start this week with massive sell-offs, but despite the chaos, all major 3 indexes ended up pulling off a winning week. Additionally, the job market remained strong, with unemployment falling last month and bigger gains in average wages. But higher wages and higher tariffs, like the ones we're seeing against China, would almost guarantee higher prices. A new report released this week shows U.S. consumers are expecting inflation to rise by more than 4% this year. That means that most people think this problem is far from over, and the Federal Reserve agrees. New signals from the Fed say we might have to wait a little longer before we start to see these interest rates come back down. The tariff battle against Canada ended this week after the U.S. backed down and accepted a previously announced Canadian border bill as proof of a crackdown on crime. Investors are still trying to figure out what Donald Trump hoped to gain by the tariff threat. But Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau offered an answer after accidentally getting caught on a hot mic while speaking behind closed doors. The Canadian leader told members of the business community Donald Trump is serious about making Canada the 51st state, and the tariff battle this week is a larger effort to absorb Canada into the United States and take over their natural resources. Trudeau has also warned politicians there that this is a serious moment for Canada, and officials will need to tread more carefully in U.S. negotiations going forward. We bring things back to Michigan now with a look at a new report showing schools in our state gained more teachers than we lost for the 3rd year in a row. It's a good sign of growth since the crisis we saw during the pandemic, and the same report also found that teachers could be entering a job market that's on shaky ground. Among certified educators, the report shows around a quarter of first-year teachers will leave their district within the first 5 years, and that number gets higher for rural schools. To fill that gap, more schools are relying on full-year substitute teaching permits to fill roles. 4,500 permits were issued last year compared to 1,500 before the pandemic. That could make it harder for teachers to learn about an area's specific needs, and it could affect long-term staffing for positions like special education. And staying in Michigan, police in Oakland County have arrested a suspect connected to almost a dozen home invasions, and he's only 13 years old. The most recent attempt happened earlier this month when a person wearing a ski mask broke into a child's bedroom in the middle of the night armed with a knife and choked a 10-year-old girl who had been sleeping. Police say he appeared to target homes where teens or young girls lived, and he had a knife in 3 of the incidents. The suspect's age could be surprising considering the violent nature of the crime, but authorities reminded the public that children could do dangerous and terrible things to each other, and they used the shooting at Oxford High School as another recent example.
From Storm Tracker 6, this is Weather on the Sixes, sponsored by Auto Owners Insurance. Simple human sense.
Well, we're seeing those cloudy skies this morning and we'll eventually see some snow showers, but for right now we're seeing those cooler temperatures and cloudy skies. Take a look at our Jackson cam. We're seeing quiet conditions right now and temperatures are into the 20s, 22 degrees in Jackson, and 23 degrees in Hillsdale. We're looking at 22 degrees here in Lansing and Grand Ledge. Satellite radar showing dry conditions. That's because we have that high pressure system still right on top of us, and we're still going to see that dry air for the day today. And that's going to keep any of these snow showers at bay. Zooming out, we can see that we have that area of high pressure system, then these 2 pockets of low pressure system. At first, it was thought that they were going to merge and we were going to see some substantial snow from this, but unfortunately, we're just going to get clipped by this northern one as this one moves to our south. So as you can see closer to home, we're seeing just a little bit of some winter weather alerts, mainly to our south and to our north, but here in the mid-Michigan area, we're just kind of sandwiched between those 2 systems, and we're not going to see a whole lot of that from today. Take a look at our precision cast. We stay dry throughout the morning and into the afternoon. Maybe see a little bit of some snow showers moving in as that low pressure system moves to the south and one moves to the north, and that's where we are going to see those snow showers moving in. And then as we head throughout the rest of the day, we're just going to see very light snow showers overall. How much are we going to get? Well, we can see about a trace to an inch here in mid-Michigan as you go further north into parts of even St. John's and even into parts of Mount Pleasant. That's where the higher amounts of snow will be, as well as to our south. So if you have any travel plans, make sure you are aware of that as we move throughout the day. For today, though, we'll see temperatures back into the 30s. So we're still staying below average for today, but we'll still stay dry and quiet for the first half of the day before we see those snow showers move in for the second half of the day. And it's not going to be too bad for the second half of the day, so if you have any outdoor plans or outdoor activities, it will be a little bit snowy, but not too bad.
Okay, well that's good to hear because coming up in the second half of the show, we'll tell you about all the things you can do in mid-Michigan today. All right, it's a good day for it. Thank you, Kelsey.